Hey, what's happening, nation? It's SJ. So we lost to the Giants, and it completely sucks, but we have to move on from it. I give this team a complete pass for losing this game. They've been through so much turmoil and so much drama over the past few weeks, and it is insane that we have not lost a game going through all of this. And then traveling to the East Coast, playing in New York, and watching Devontae Booker just run straight through our defense the entire game kind of all came together to equal a trap game situation, but I don't even want to call it a trap game. Derek Carr easily played the worst game of his season up to this point. You could tell that his head just wasn't in it, and rightfully so. He had a lot going on. It just seemed like the entire offense was just off. It was like everybody was playing at 10, but then Derek Carr was playing at a 9, and it just kind of fed through the offense and took everybody down a level. I think Bryan Edwards ended up having 4 targets, but a 0 across the stat sheet. In a game where we really thought he was going to step up and be like that key piece that we needed him to be, he kind of ended up taking a big step back, when that sucked to see. Zay Jones ended up having a very little impact on this game. This offense kind of came down to what it was last year, where you had Hunter Renfrow, you had Darren Waller, you had Josh Jacobs, and then we had the addition of Kenyon Drake. Honestly played a pretty good game and was helping us out through this, but I kind of saw Derek Carr revert back to the old Derek Carr in this game, and it scared the shit out of me. I know that we just signed Djax, and a ton of people are super excited about that. I am not with you just yet. I'm hoping that he pans out, but I see this possibly making our offense look very predictable again, because he's not the kind of dude that can be on the field every down and be like your every down number 1 wide receiver. He's a guy that is going to be working into the rotation. If you bring him onto the field and then all of a sudden everybody's like, hey, here comes Djax, looks like they're going to try to take a deep shot. That's the same exact shit that happened to us last year, where the Chiefs just straight up called us out. Defenses around the league just started to feast on us. I really think this Giants game was just a bump in the road. We have a very, very important game coming up. We got the Chiefs at home Sunday Night Football, and that is a must-win game for us, because if we lose that Chiefs game, not only do the Chiefs leapfrog us, and if the Broncos win, we will have the same record as the Broncos, and we will have went from first place in our division down to pretty much last place in the course of 2 weeks. Thankfully, a few other playoff teams in the AFC ended up taking pretty tough losses this week. The Ravens ended up dropping that game, and the Bills ended up losing to the Jags. The Manning curse is real. I sincerely hope Derek Carr never goes on that show before one of our games. The Raiders were due for a loss, though, so we have to rebound, and we have to get this team back on track moving forward. And there is no better way to do it than beating the Chiefs prime time for everyone in the world to see. DC just needs to settle down and get his head right going into next week. Our running game was actually looking damn good against this Giants team, so this game stayed pretty close. So I don't understand why we got away from it at some points. But Jacobs had 13 carries, 76 yards, which is almost a 6-yard average. Kenyon Drake carried 4 times for 30 yards. So I mean, the holes were there. But when it starts getting later in a game and you're playing catch up, you have to eventually start to work your way away from it. Darren Waller ended up having a huge game. Hunter Renfrow ended up having a huge game. I knew both of those were coming. Alec Ingold proved again why I love him so much. And then Kenyon Drake in that receiving game. That has worked out exactly like the Raiders were hoping it would. 6 catches, 70 yards. You cannot ask for more than that from your number 2 running back. Defensively, Perriman ended up leading the team in tackles yet again. Jason ended up playing a really good game. I was super happy to see that. I really think that kid has pretty much won that cornerback spot on our team. The release of Damon Arnette says it all, and I've mentioned it a few times. I wish that kid the best of luck, but I did not want him on this team any longer. Completely support that move by the Raiders. Abram, I thought, played pretty solid, and even though Evan Ingram ended up going over his head early and getting that touchdown, KJ Wright ended up stepping up his game a little bit. I was super happy to see that. Defensively, we played pretty damn good. Hobbs ended up getting in there and getting himself a sack. Corey Littleton seemed to take a big step back this game. We can talk stats until we are blue in the face. At the end of the day, the reason we lost this game is because Carr underperformed, and he fully owned it in his press conference, so I do respect him for that. But it immediately caused Raider Nation to start with all the Marcus Mariota crap, and he should be our starter, and he should be the number 1 guy moving forward. You think the Bills are sitting there talking about benching Josh Allen after he played a couple shit weeks? There is no chance in hell. Derek Carr was everybody's favorite a few weeks ago, and now he's all of a sudden on the chopping block. I love the Raider Nation fan base with all of my heart, but there are some of y'all that are more fickle than the Philly fans, and it blows my mind how fast you're willing to turn your back on one of our own players. But there is no chance in hell that our season is over. This team will regroup, our captains will step up, we will get reunited as a team, we'll end up winning this Chiefs game. We all saw how the Bengals looked last week, we all saw how the Cowboys looked last week. There is no telling what's going to happen on a week-to-week basis. We could sure as hell come out and make our best guesses, but the Raiders are going to be playing for a hell of a lot on Sunday night, and so are the Chiefs, because they know they can take over our spot, and they know they can put us at the back. But that's pretty much what I have for you guys tonight. We'll jump into that Chiefs game in the next day or two for sure. I'm hoping to go live for it. I apologize for my last live show. It has been a minute since I had gone live, and then I tried to do Who Has the Advantage, and I am my own biggest critic, and that show pretty much sucked. And being one of the dudes who has been a Raiders live streamer forever, I was legitimately pissed by the time I finished that one. So that one's on me. So I'll just settle back into my old live format, which works way better. Plus, I get to talk to you guys, and it's not about all the crap that I'm spewing out. It's about hearing from all of you, which is honestly the one and only reason that I do these. So until next time, guys, I'm SJ. If you can click that like button on the way out, it really does help me out and keep me growing. We will catch y'all on the next one.